tuxie face. He says, come on with the breakfast, Mom. Hi, Morris. Ah, come on, Morris. It's right here, honey. Here you come, a good boy. Good morning. Hi, everybody. Mom's glad to see you. Last night at midnight when we went to sleep, Stripe and Morris were in this chair, just snuggled just right. Everybody's here this morning. Stripe and Marty have been in and out and in. Marty was inside last night. Goodness gracious, somebody had a fight with my bricks last night. I wish they wouldn't do that. I mean, I know why they do it. It's because the food gets down in there, but geez. I am meeting Michelle to shop. I'm still thinking tomorrow will be another yard day. Plant all the, annual packs that I have and stuff like that. That's the plan anyway. I probably won't come out this afternoon when I get home because I'll have the video to edit, and I don't want to get started and have to stop. I want to get started and have, a nice chunk of time to go. I recorded yesterday in the evening and I recorded yesterday during the day, and I heard the owls, but I never saw them and they weren't on my video. Disappointing. Trying to catch them bringing food to the nest, and so far it's not happening. But I've not give up. When I'm around and I can run it, I have at least 3, maybe 4 of those Canon batteries, and the thing I have to be careful about is they take kind of a while to charge. This is old school equipment, so if I run it a little bit during the day, I gotta save some battery for the evening too. That bird call is the pileated woodpecker. No time to walk the front yard this morning, but it's gorgeous. Just a hint of chill in the air, which is perfect. We don't want to be coming out to stifling hot humidity, so I'll take a slight chill in the air any morning. Hey, Gray. Hi. Hi. Hello. Good girl. Good girl. It's a gorgeous morning. It's warmed up enough for me to ditch my jacket. The seniors must be going someplace. I'm expecting Carolina livery to pull up any minute. They've got 2 cases of water, so yeah. The senior group is having an outing leaving from here today. And we picked up trash before we mowed, and now we're picking up trash. Well, they've mostly mowed. Looks like there's a couple spots they still haven't gotten to. And it's a fine morning for a walk, as you can see. Being the friendly, social person that I am, I hollered over at one of the seniors getting out of their car and asked them where they were headed today, and they are headed to the Carolina Tiger Rescue in Pittsburgh area. Now that's not that far from here. That is a 30-minute drive, 40 minutes at the max, but I guess if you want to have your social hour and hang with people and go, when they might get a group discount or something. Be interesting to know what it costs to hop on the bus with them. But yeah, so they're headed, and Don and I went with, I'm gonna say the boys, so it's been a while, but we've been one time and it was enjoyable. It was enjoyable. Basically, animals along that family of cat or whatever, lions, cheetahs, all those guys that were either brought into the U.S. as pets and then, they got confiscated or abandoned, or, possibly retired from the zoo or the circus or something like that. Those are the cats that end up over there. And You know, it's a nonprofit because it costs them a lot to feed them. They have to do a lot of fundraising. That's why they parade people through there, I'm sure, both to teach, educate about why it's not a good idea to have one of them as a pet and, you know, raise money to feed them. As you can see, we got a bit to pick up this morning. We'll call it a bus, but it's not really probably quite the right word for it. It is larger than the one they usually take. This outing seems to be much more popular than normal.
It probably has to do with the time of the year.
Yeah, it's pretty here, Donnie. It's pretty and all that stuff.
Yeah, springtime, it's not super hot. You know, most people are willing to get out on cool days and do something, you know, when it's not hot, not cold.
Yeah. Well, Don and I are having our morning frustration over the amount of trash and why people don't feel like they need to get their stuff to the trash can. It's like, how are we gonna fix our country, better our country, keep our country great, make our country better? I don't care which words you want to use around it, but how are we gonna do all the things we need to do if we can't get people to even put their trash in a trash can? All the people. Like, just, you know, everybody do that. It's so frustrating. It's just the right thing to do, so do it. They came and emptied a lot of stuff out, but this is how they leave the ground after they do that. And usually there's screws and nails in it too. And I'm like, how can you do your job and like leave?
Really big. That's a 3/4 inch piece of glass.
Yeah, but we often find screws and nails. Yeah, just a few minutes with the push broom or a blower or even just a small dustpan and broom would take care of that. But oh no, we emptied it. That's what we were supposed to do. When we have an Optimus robot responsible for keeping the park clean, walking around picking up trash, emptying the trash cans, reporting things that aren't right, general straightening or whatever, I'm not going to cry over it. I'm not going to cry over it at all, which should be an excuse to just put more trash down. But yeah, I guess he's spraying something out there.
Yeah, he's putting down like soap bubbles, but it isn't soap bubbles. That is not litter out there. Those are like soap bubbles. I guess maybe it's a marking system.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was. I saw it on the other.
Well, it looks like he's got a sprayer attached to it. There's a bladder back there and everything. So I'm guessing it's for insect control, like maybe fire ants or something. But I haven't breathed it in, but I sure don't want to be exposed to it.
Yeah, you can go the other way.
So we talked to the guy, and it's not fire ant stuff. It's weed killer stuff to leave the grass but kill the weeds. And the soap bubbles is Dawn, and it's to let him see where he's been. You know, when you cut the grass, you can see where you've been, but when you're putting down just applying stuff, you can't tell where you've been. So each end has a soap bubble dispenser, and it helps him to stay on track with coating the whole thing. So
yeah, what he does is he drives over it first, I guess, with it, and blaze it out, or as he drives across, it drops him so he knows
when he turns around to make the next pass, he can see where he's been.
Yeah, so he must have done that entire field now.
Yeah, so now you know, because Dawn and I are a curious individual. If Dawn's not asking, I'm asking.
Right.
It's always one of us. We like to know stuff. I thanked him for waiting until we got past, because, you know, last thing I need is to be exposed to any kind of chemical. I'm kind of particular about that. I know I still use Dawn and Tide in my home, but really the amount of other chemicals we use is zero. We use a lot of unscented products. You know, you won't come into my house and get a perfume smell in your nose ever. I just don't do that. And there's just studies out there about how breathing that stuff's not good for you. Where was it I came out of? I came out of the dollar store, or Dollar General yesterday. I came out of Dollar General and got in the car, and Dawn was like, "Did you buy some perfume, or did you buy what do you have?" And I'm like, "I've got a couple of garden fairies." I said, "Dollar General always smells like that." I said, "I think it's a combination of Tide and Dawn and all of those things in a really small area with not really great ventilation, then so the whole place smells like that, and everything you bring out of there smells like that.
Including you.
Including me. It took a while. And I was in there for less than 10 minutes, so it's really strong. It's really strong. And my dad used to really hate candles and perfumey things, so me and my mom, even if we wanted it, we weren't allowed to. It caused him respiratory distress. He asked us not to, do that stuff. And I actually don't think he disliked the smell. It just, made him have trouble breathing. So we just, I grew up expected not to have scents. I got a couple essential oils if I really, really am in the mood for some soothing smell, but that would be it. So Don listened to Robert F. Kennedy 30-minute speech he gave yesterday.
Right.
And I'm just going to preface this by saying that Don and I truly believe more kids are autistic today than were autistic in 1950 or 1900 or 1850. And we don't know exactly why. We got some ideas. Could be the food, what's in the food. It could be other environmental toxins. It could be the vaccines. It could be a lot of things. But it's not just that we're testing better. And Don and I have believed that for a long time, not just because of what Kennedy said yesterday. And I'm going to let Don in the car tell you a little bit more what Kennedy said. And the reason is so that maybe you'll give 30 minutes of your time and go listen to him too, because it's important. Especially if you're going to have kids or you're going to have grandkids. So give them the highlights in case they don't have time to go listen.
Right. Well, basically, he presented all these various different reports that were already known to people inside of the Health and Human Services, CDC, NIH, whatever. None of these, well, I should say none. The reports that he was talking about was all prior research that was already done and basically pretty much 100% ignored. That they didn't like the answer. It was saying that autism is getting worse, not slowly, but aggressively. It is increasing at a rapid rate, and the government didn't want that message out.
1 in 12 boys, 1 in 31 boys. It's bad.
That's right. There were 3 things that came out. The first thing is the rate is the autism is undeniable. There is an epidemic of autism in this country. Irrelevant if you want to argue is it 20 in 10,000 or 100 in 10,000 or whatever the number is nowhere near the 1 in 10,000 rate that it was when some really well-conducted studies were done back in the 70s and 80s. When the people really dug into it, they found the rate was approximately 1 in 10,000, 2 in 10,000, 3 in 10,000. Very low rates. There is nowhere in the U.S. that rate is anywhere close to that. It's all much higher. So the first thing is you can argue about the actual ratio, but the fact that the ratio is way too high cannot be refuted. The second thing is that there's something about the boy-girl ratio because it's unrefutable that boys are 4 times more likely to be autistic than girls. So that's just the way it is. And then the other thing is this problem is increasing. It isn't slowing up. It has cost every time they've done anything, the next year it's worse. This problem, there is no indication that if we continue to do exactly what we're doing, which is nothing, that this thing is going to, quote, turn it around. Better detection, earlier detection, any of that stuff is total foolishness and is not going to solve the problem. So he's going to continue to now propose grants and study. Bhattacharya guy is going to handle these, and they're going to start diving into this, and they are basically believing that this has got to be an environment. Oh, the other thing was in 1989 the data both from the EPA and these reports all show that the inflection point was 1989. Prior to 1989, it was sort of increasing, but not at this skyrocketing rate. After 1889, basically it's almost exponential.
1989.
1989.
Yeah.
It's almost exponential. So something happened in the 1989 time frame. So they're going to use that as one of the filters when they start looking for toxins. What got introduced? What changed in 1989-ish? You know, not looking for something that changed in 1950 or 1960. No. We need to find something in the very late 80s that changed that we didn't have prior to the late 80s, and we're going to focus on those types of toxins. And, you know, perfectly reasonable to me.
Yeah, Elon wants more babies, and I understand why, and I support that. But if I was a mom getting ready to have a child,
it's scary.
It would be darn scary.
Yeah, it's like
1 in 12 boys or 1 in 20 boys. How do you go into having a kid when you're faced with that? And it can be very mild, which is still quite problematic, or it can be really, really bad.
Well, that was the other point. He said the research showed, or the people say, oh, it's all just because we have better and earlier detection, and the cases are mild. He said that is totally wrong. He said the severe cases, the ones where they can't go to the bathroom unassisted, they literally need care around the clock. That rate has not changed historically. Even before, when there were autistic people back in the 60s and 70s, it was 25% were the really bad cases and 75% were the not so bad cases. Well, even today, it's still 25% of the many more cases are the really bad cases.
So it's gone up a lot, but in the same proportion as always.
The amount of dysfunction or impact has been pretty consistent. It's just the rate of the infection or whatever the cause is greatly increased.
Well, if we want to improve our health care, we got to do two things. We got to bring down the cost of health care, and we got to decrease the number of people needing health care.
Yeah.
And autism is a health care, just like diabetes, type 2 diabetes. And
so here, I'm sorry, Ken, but this is really important. So, of course, the only place you're going to hear this is from Marianne and I, because the New York Times, the New York Post, Fox might cover it, but CNN's not going to say a word. They didn't even know there is a Kennedy's HHS secretary. That's how biased those people are. They're in la la land. I'm sorry.
It certainly won't.
Marianne doesn't like it.
No. Well, I'm certainly agree with you that it will not receive the same coverage on legacy media as it will if you go listen to Kennedy directly, or you're on X, or you're even searching for. Science is not settled. Don and I are in the science is not settled camp. And also, science is only as good as people actually reporting the science that they find, not the results they wanted from the experiments they pretended to do. So
that's correct.
And it's given science a bad name. And some people will say, well, you're a science denier. And we're going to say, well, no, because we want to continue to review if the science that we last time concluded continues to be accurate as we get smarter as humans and stuff. So that's just kind of where we are. But go listen to Kennedy or keep an eye on this, especially if you're thinking about having kids or you got kids having grandkids, because there are certain things Don and I talked about last week. If we were going to go have a kid today, we would do these things.
Yeah.
And some of it was throw out all the ultra-processed food, throw out chemicals from the house, as we have a mineral spirits thing in the background. But that's
been around forever.
Right, and it's been sitting there. We don't really, it's just kind of, that once every 10 years we need a little mineral spirits, we have some.
That's correct.
Anyway, I got to go shop.
That's right. Important things.
And they're trying to get you for a meeting.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, Kathy wants you on the phone.
Oh, well, that's life.
All right, off I go. I remembered to grab my wallet. Almost left without it. They don't do tap to pay or what, any of that stuff up at Guardian Angel, at least not on all of the registers. So don't want to forget my wallet, even if I have my phone and my watch and stuff. Michelle's said she's on her way. I think I loaded up everything I was taking to Michelle. and Don got up with his coworker that was reaching out to him. He had worked for 45 minutes before we went to walk, gone through his mail, made sure he didn't have any meetings, made sure nobody needed anything from him, and fired off a message clarifying something. And anyway, things can change in an hour. I'm now reading, well, listening to Brace for Impact by Harley Tate. It's another end of the world disaster thriller. This one has to do with EMP or nuclear level stuff again. Because I don't have enough, to worry about my own life, I listen to books about people that have a lot to worry about. And I'm just noticing that, I have some of the apps here that we saw on Jules yesterday. My screen has also been similarly updated. I guess there's not quite as many, but there's several. The ones out of that I use is Audible. I don't use any of the rest of those, although I do have YouTube Music and Amazon Music, I guess. At least YouTube if I wanted it. So I'm going to go in. Michelle says she's sick of traffic. She's trying to get here. She definitely has more traffic to contend to coming from Willow Spring than I do coming from the other side of Main Street downtown. She's here and she's found her a Mandalorian book. Never mind if the kids need books or not. We miss the kids being all excited about books. I used to leave with 10 books every time I came to Guardian Angel, and now I hardly ever buy books anymore, but oh well. So we have to show everybody your bunny. Aww. Is it a loungefly?
Nope, it's just a regular purse.
Okay, well, it's very cute and perfect for Easter, and I'm loving this flower up here. Well,
Got it here.
Oh yeah, really? With that on it and everything?
Mm-hmm. And it comes on the back too.
Oh, it does. Well, you are all styling for Easter, girl. All styling.
All thrifted.
No, that wasn't going to stay here when I saw it, right? It's got 2 on it. Michelle's picked up a couple of fancy garland guys, and she's got this cute for her bathroom, because all her bathroom is sea scenes, shells. It just, only way it could have been more perfect is if it had a mermaid on it. This is a glass for the beach that you would stick into the sand. They've got 60 cents on it. I'm trying to see if I need it for something in one of my flower pots. We're finding stuff today, and but it's all been, prices we've been happy with. Of course, she found a thing called Illuminata. They're bath bombs, but they're Michelle and Ariel style bath bombs. And I told her I bought her a few last week because I knew. Second thing she's bought today that I bought her some of last week. But you go for it. They're a good price too. Bath bombs. I don't know why they're over here in the office supplies, but they are. There's some furniture in the area where the dishes were, and now here's all the dishes. Don't know why when you need to find a mug you can't really find one. This one's the right size and the right handle, and it's only $1, but no, it's not got anything on it. It's just plain white. That is so not me. Michelle's excited. It's Monty Python, and it says what? Me.
And I want a shrubbery.
I'm glad you're excited. Hey, I shit you not. That's different. We almost have buy 6 get 2 free, and they're playing Boston Foreplay Long Time in the background. Yay! I love Boston.
That's fast.
Michelle's giving me the scoop on the kitten that's not so much of a kitten anymore. He climbs curtains.
He rips them off.
He pulled something off the wall. She's had to hide things. She's had to put up things for, let's just say, a year. Yeah.
Yeah, he either gnaws on him or he pushes them
But
off
she
the
loves
table.
him. She doesn't. She wouldn't want you to get the idea that she's not happy about him. She's just dealing with kitten right now.
Yep, teenagers.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he came into our life. It was a blessing. But this is why I often tell people to just adopt a 2-year-old cat, because you see the personality in advance, and
He's good, and he's super smart.
yeah.
A lot smarter than my kids. No,
Well, this one likes to cuddle with Michelle when he's worn out. Yeah, so she's happy about that, because all the other animals seem to have picked someone else. And like at my house, or you know, Michelle's doing all of the heavy lifting with all of the animals, and then they go love on other people.
Yep.
Except for not Micho though, not Micho. We did good.
He follows me around when I vacuum. The vacuum cleaner doesn't even scare him.
Really?
Yeah. He just watches. He watches me do everything, and then he mimics it. That's why he's learning how to flush the toilet. He's right there looking at it, and he's like.
Yeah, she said he's playing with the. She said he's playing with the toilet handles now. Yeah, I asked if he was pulling the toilet tissue off the roll, and she says not yet. Well, you better not demonstrate how to. Oh, God, yes. Yeah, don't, because I know a lot of people that can't. I've experienced it too. You can't leave the toilet tissue on the roller thing for a while. You have to hide it under the cabinet, and then you have to lock the cabinet with the safety lock.
Yep, because I know as soon as he sees me pull it off and rip it off, he's
gonna want to do that. Yeah. So everything was 25% off today except for clothing. And I got a gazing ball pedestal, which I will show you, that I probably wouldn't have got if it wasn't 25% off, but I'm happy with it. I have a cobalt blue bird bath and pedestal, and I've been using the bird bath bottom for my gazing globe in the past few years. So now I can use this pedestal instead, and I can set up the full cobalt blue bird bath as a bird bath. So it's the bird bath top I used over by the carport last year with the fountain, the bubbler fountain thing in it. Anyway, I've always got a plan for the stuff. I did see FedEx has been. They brought my Mr. Maple and my large plant pots all on the same day. And so yeah, FedEx has been here. A hand towel.
A hand towel.
And a semi sort of matching bath towel. Yes. So they can go in the wash.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, there might be two stuffies. A kitty and a kitty. The boy, Sam or Johnny's liable to want the blue one. The other one's for me. As
long as I don't have to try to arrange them on the bed.
As long as it's not added to the menagerie on the bed, we're okay.
That's right. Coffee cup for me?
Look, it was $1. And is it the right size and the right handle?
It's the right size and right handle.
Well, until I find one I like better for $1, that's your coffee cup. Okay, I hate that coffee cup. Let's be clear; it has nothing on it. That is the.
Put it in the dishwasher.
It's your cup until I tell you it's not your cup. That's going outside. It's actually meant for the sand for your frosted beverage at the beach. It just sticks in the sand so it can't get knocked over.
Okay, whatever you say.
Yes, but I'm going to use it for something else.
Of course it'll be used for something else.
Yes, you can take out the two things in the little bag there. Sorry if we didn't save the... We're very careful here to reuse all plastic bags. We don't tear them, we don't throw them away. They get used, so...
We have War for the Planet of the Apes and Gravity.
Right, and they're both Blu-ray actually. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to collect as many of the Planet of the Apes as I can as possible, so we can go through and watch them. Boom, 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 yeah, sure. Like once every one. Yeah. Anyway, so they're on my list. Yeah. This bag here is from Michelle, and I don't know what's in it, but I will enjoy that in a little while. Just pull them out one at a time. There is one thing at the bottom. There's a couple things in there that are... That one's for you. Yeah, blue and yellow is Dawn. Yeah. And Dawn likes that checkered board gingham stuff. Yeah. Johnny. Have interesting news from Johnny. Yeah. He's invited to go with his team, his big BattleBot team, his 300-pound bot, 2 BattleBots for filming to walk out on the TV show.
Oh, way cool.
And everything. Yeah, it's actually inside out, but that one's for Johnny too. Well, I guess it's just darker on the inside. See how the fabric, it's just darker on the inside. I was like, yeah. That's for me. Everybody liked my bright pink. Yeah, everybody liked my bright pink today.
Like it.
That's actually for me. You might have thought it was for you, but it's a girl top. It's got a girl neckline on it.
I have plenty, thank you.
Right. Well, comfy ones when I'm working out in the yard, lifting things and bent over is good. So
Kitten top.
yeah,
sure.
Kit's mine. But if you'd have thought it was yours, that wouldn't have. This one's for Sam. I sent him a picture and he said yes.
Oh sure, that looks like Sam.
Yeah, that's one's for Sam. 'Cause that's all Sam wears is button-down dress shirts casually.
Works for me.
Yeah.
Oh man.
They were really cheap, and I just liked them. I have no idea. This falls into today's category.
Oh.
They're bookends. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them, but I wanted them anyway because they're space-themed.
Why? They are space.
And then the little tiny
birdhouse,
which I would say could have a real bird, but it doesn't have a service. It's not easily serviced.
Yes, it's mostly to look at.
But anyway.
Yeah, way cool. You done good?
Yeah, I think that was all from today. I got my EMS. I got my EMS bricks box over there. The mail has come and I've gotten the mail, so you don't have to go out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all over the place with their timing lately.
Timing
timing is very strange.
That's correct.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep, off to the wash you go. Dawn loves Guardian Angel Night in the with the laundry the next morning.
Yeah, something like that.
I usually kick in and help, but the shirts unfortunately typically don't go in the dryer and have to get hung up in the evening after the wash finishes.
That's right.
Which is why we will never have one of those single unit combo wash and dry things because
That's right. We're not
stuff has to come out after the wash and before the dry, and we would be defeating it all the time.
That's correct.
Well, here's my two new trees from Mr. Maple. This is Macawa X Sharps. So it's a cross between a Macawa and a Sharps, like the Sharps pygmy, the little dwarf. It's small because it's a dwarf. I mean, it's not ever going to get more than 3 feet. But it's a cross between this and a Macawa. So, there, the sun. It's a little bit like this. And then the other one is a Coralinum. It's a pink, and it's also a smaller tree. Obviously weeping. So I'm excited about these. I am. I'm very excited about them. Don just pulled Ruby in for me. And there's my two new plant pots, and I missed the FedEx guy, but at least Don got to come out and talk to Brandon today.
I drilled the holes.
Thank you. He said he drilled the holes. In other words, they're ready for me to fill with dirt. One of the reasons I went ahead and got 2 more, and it was a little cheaper to buy 2 at a time than 1, is because by the time I'm done with all the dirt and the wheelbarrow and the other pots, I need some place to put that dirt that's in the wheelbarrow. And usually in the bottom of these pots, we put some of that dirt. So I do have 2 smaller pots. I think they're about this size, these bronze guys right here. And they're a matching blue color. And I'm going to move these 2 Mandevilla vines out of these black pots and into the blue pots. Or I'm going to set them down in there at least so they look prettier than sitting here with the black. I do need to move, did I say that already? This red one from here. It's not going to do well in as much sun as it's getting here. So I'm going to need to move it sooner than later, but not right this minute. Tomorrow's going to be a yard day unless something irregular happens. Hey, Tux. Hi, bud. They don't like it when I come home and I got my hands full and I'm all shopped out, and they want me to come and sit with them. Hi, Mart. Hi, Mart. Yeah, Tux tolerates you okay. Probably better than any of the rest of the other cats. He tolerates you. And one of the reasons I didn't garden yesterday was I thought, you know, it would be nice to go to Guardian Angel this week and not have dirt covered fingers and nails. And thanks, Stripe. You just put your backside right in Tux's face. Now Morris has come over. Everybody's here and doing good, so I'm pleased. Meh. Morris sheds. He has more hair than any of the other outside cats. He does. He has more hair. There you are, buddy. Hey, bud. I'm keeping a close eye on everything because I have had to kill a few caterpillars, the tent caterpillars. So I'm looking for any kind of leaf damage really fast so I can kill them. This is the new pedestal that I bought. I think I paid $21 for it after the 25% discount. It's real pottery. It'll be fine outside during the summer. Of course, all of the real pottery I put under the house for the winter. And I'm going to put my gazing globe that's always over here, back over here, but in that instead of the cobalt blue bottom. And like I said, that way I can set up my whole cobalt blue bird bath probably in the front yard. But that's not something I would normally have seen. It is such a gorgeous day. It's not something I normally would have found at Guardian Angel. I mean, I doubt most people even know that that's a pedestal for a bird bath or a gazing globe. Right? So, it'll work for either. This color here on the full moon Japanese maple is so pretty right now. So pretty. Last year the deer came and ate it, and it was nowhere near this big, and I didn't get to appreciate it like this at all. So, I'm very pleased. This is Shirasawan Johin full moon. You just need to know it's a full moon. We won't worry about the other name that we can't say too well. I'm probably going to start out the smaller Japanese maples in these smaller pots. But I might set these pots on top of the other pots with dirt in them and like some flowers along the outside. Something that wouldn't be in with the tree but would be in with the would be in the lower pot. And one of the big pots is going here. I'm not going to really move this pot, but it's going to go here beside where the cats sleep as a tiered, you know, layered sort of a thing. And I will get the little fairy garden up off the ground. It goes in this vicinity, and that's sort of where I sat at yesterday when we got it out from under the house. And it'll green back up too. It's only been out for a day or so. I don't think that moss is all the way dead. I feel sure that moss, when it does its thing, will come back. So anyway, I'm just getting in my mind. I'm going to have to take the ferns out of this pot because I got my little solar fairy garden thing. And with those ferns in there, you can't see any of the, you won't be able to see the fairy garden at all. I kind of hate to disturb the pretty mulch. The mulch in this one is looking so nice. But I might just have to disturb it and get instead of just cutting the ferns back, I'm probably just going to take the ferns out and put them someplace else. And then it would be fine if they were little tiny ferns, but they're super huge big ferns, and that's not so good. Okay, there you go. You've got your impromptu yard update brought to you by FedEx bringing me my plant pots and trees. This was what was in the bag from Michelle. All great stuff. I love Squishmallows. I love these chicks, which come from Target. I love Lego. And I love Wally. You know, Johnny uses Wally in a lot of places for stuff. So, way cool. Super exciting. I had admired this guy at Harris Teeter. They don't have it now, and I wanted it, but I didn't get it. So, way cool. Leftovers from yesterday's dinner's heating up. That's nice. I'm going to do bags 20 and 21 tonight at least, and I'm going to start on 20. I'm sure my building's going to get split up by stopping to eat, which is fine. Hi. Yes, that's me talking. As you can see, both sides are finished now. And like I said, this wall just basically snaps into place. So I guess if you wanted to get in there to make adjustments on either side, one side it's the front, one side it's the back, it would be really easy to do that. So I'll do 21 after we eat. So I did 20, 21, and 22 because 21 did this dome and I needed it even. So I did this 22 to get this dome done also. Hi, sweet girl. Hi. This is really starting to look like something now, right? A serious something.